Software engineering is not a get rich quick scheme. I mean, you probably have heard videos like I earn 250K at the age of 14 while I'm just working for 4 hours and the rest of the time I'm at the beach. Or things like ditch your career and code your way to freedom. But let me tell you the truth, it's not that simple. If anything, software engineering still remains as one of the most misunderstood careers online. For those who are in software engineering, they really know the truth. And for those who are influencing you to the space, they probably will just tell you only the nice and the glamorous side. But today, I'm going to be demystifying all those misconceptions in software engineering and tell you the real truth, the ugly, the nice, the glamorous, and all things in the middle. Otherwise, let's get into it. While many careers package software engineering as this fast lane to riches, it looks something like you learn to code for 3 months and then you land your dream job, or you work remotely for this big dollar company and there is minimal to no stress. And you also then get to live, your tech bro life, wherein it's just like, a very nice laptop by the coffee shop, and then it's all luxury and glamorous. Well, I think it's just the opposite of that, or at least that is maybe to an extreme. What they don't show you is the 2 a.m. debugging sessions, which means that you stay after hours solving problems that couldn't be solved with the 8 hours you have allocated to do your job. Meaning that we have problems or solutions that may not really fit in that 4 hours that was sort of solved by, your tech or average tech influencers you get online. You definitely get things like your self-doubt. I mean, I remember this one time when in the morning I was busy saying I'm the best Angular developer that ever existed in South Africa and potentially Africa and potentially the whole world. But then before the day ends, I was sort of starting to doubt that. And the reason being is because I came across a very huge problem that it was sort of a bit more difficult to solve. Eventually, I got to solve it, which probably could have led to some, 2 a.m. debugging sessions. I mean, again, you sort of get these, let's say you're looking for a job, you can get like a technical interview in. They'd ask you about a question you probably have no idea to how to approach. And you start questioning, obviously, your existence, whether you are really a software engineer or not. Even though you are such a great software engineer, you do come across that, which means that all the people that people are saying it there, say just learn for 3 months, just give it 2 hours or an hour at least a day, and then you'll be good and be great. It's to an extreme. I mean, maybe the people who can be able to do that, but from my experience and the people that I got to interact with and the people that I get to mentor, well, doesn't look straight out of the box like that. If what you're chasing is the aesthetic tech bro life and the luxury look and the nice goody goodies that you always get from your influencers every day, then maybe you're going to get disappointed because it has more to it than just what they're showing you. Like I've said, I mean, what software engineering sort of entails in general is it's all about problem solving. And in many cases, you're probably solving problems that were never, put down before. So I mean, if you're solving a problem of installing a door, for example, it's easy. Probably somebody has done a YouTube doing that, or there's somebody who can easily just teach you around the corner, and then you get to solve it. But if you're solving a new system that probably provides new functionalities and new approaches, then you probably need to bring a new solution, right? So, which means it's all about problem solving and things that you probably don't even know that you sort of need to understand, adapt, and then bring the solutions to that. So it's all about building, failing, learning, and trying again. And you just sort of repeat that very same cycle every day and every day. So sometimes you even feel like your brains are frying. I'm not putting this to an extreme, but it's just the truth. Of course, it might not be every day, but most of the time you are really, really, really quiet to be at your level best and at your good state for problem solving. A normal day of a software developer, it's things like debugging. Debugging is just a process of finding an issue or a problem within your code, which means you need to read line by line until you really figure out where the anomaly is coming from, right? And as well, you need to sort of be able to still manage the client expectations and the requests they come with. So if today the client says, I want this door to open to the left, right? And tomorrow they come with another one to say, no, I actually want it to open to the left and to the right and up and down. Then now that's some sort of requirements that have changed. You need to tell your brains to adapt to that and come with a solution fastest way possible and in the most efficient and obviously most quality way on top of that. So you need to be managing that, right? You also need to be reading through another developer spaghetti code. I mean, when we talk about spaghetti code, we're just talking about code that is not so well structured and that is not written with the highest standard that you probably could find out there, which means it's very difficult to read through, it's very difficult to debug through, and it's probably even difficult to test through, right? But you still have to do that, and that is what a developer's life entails. And I think this one it's less said, right? Having to work through burnouts. I mean, if I'm talking about 2 a.m. debugging codes, remember 2 a.m. it's midnight-ish. You still sort of be working. It's not those things where you just start in the morning and then you're done and then that's it. No, if you have something that is probably much more troubling, you might need to sort of spend some time before, or at least if you really care about yourself, the solutions you're bringing, you might need to do that, right? So then you still need to then live through those whole, burnouts, potentials, and still ship quality code to the projects or to the product that you're sort of working on. In summary, it just means that you don't really get paid for just knowing syntax to say if statements, for each, and all those kind of things, all those normal things you were taught in the university. No, you really get paid to solve real world problems and being reliable on the team, which means be there, solve problems, be useful, be quick to think, apply yourself, and be present. Imagine, can you do that if you're just waking 4 hours a day? Probably not, right? I'll tell you how my day looked like, right? Senior software engineer. I think it's quite simple. Wake up in the morning, get to prepare. If I'm going to the office, I mostly get to prepare. Preparing means just showering, brush my teeth and, the normal stuff. Start my car and then drive to the office. Get there sometime early in the morning or, in the morning still. And then come back at the end of the day, 4, 5. So normal 9 to 5 thing, right? And it's that. But then in the middle, right, you probably have things like your morning stand-ups. Morning stand-up is just to say you get in touch with the team. Hey guys, this is what I got to work on, and this is what I'm going to work on today. And these are some of the issues that I came across yesterday. That process or that meeting is the most important one, right? I've seen many people fumbling on that and they try to sort of cover it up and then just use their confidence to run things through. It's very dangerous because if you're just using your confidence to run through and you're not really telling the real truth, you probably won't even get the solution and you probably will just get stuck throughout and you start feeling like your job is boring or there's no growth or there's no movement. But then for me, just go give the update as it is. This is my blocker if I had any. This is what I did yesterday, and this is what I'm going to do today, and this is my target for at least today or tomorrow. And that's that. After that, go straight on like a full block of like 3, 4 hours, mostly uninterrupted coding, try out new stuff, solve clients' problems, do work like proper work when you can deliver at the end of the day. Because that's what matters, right? If you're a software engineer, you're hired to deliver, not to spectate or to just talk the whole day. Mostly, and then in between or after lunch, mostly then I would have some either meetings with juniors or with other seniors or like your planning and review meetings when we'll be reviewing the work we are doing and the work that we are taking down out to the client, right? And yeah, that's just that. In between as well, you would have things like your code reviews. Code reviews is a process of saying person A did some work, and then they would like person B to review the work on checking things like if there is any spaghetti code written, or if there's any potential bugs that could be caused from the code, or if there's any improvements that can be done on the code from a perspective of person. Person being in that case could be me, or it could be any other senior or a junior or any other person within the team. And the whole process, the reason why that is sort of happens is literally just to make sure that we still keep the quality at the highest level, and then we don't really get to write spaghetti code that is not held into the highest standard. And that's mostly just it, right? I mean, in between there, you still have things like your Slack, your meetings, your Teams, your emails, Jira tickets to move, and all that. I mean, you still need to communicate with the team. If somebody's stuck or you are stuck and you need somebody's assistance or you need some questions and all those kind of things, you need to keep that maintain that communication line open. And I'm asking myself, if you are by the beach or you're just working for 4 hours, when are you gonna get the time to do that, right? So therefore, you really need to be available and really be actively working throughout the whole time. So in simple terms, it's not glamorous, but it's fulfilling when you see some stuff working at the end of the day, right? Sometimes because it might mean some progress. Many people just bash stuff or come and say things that are bad about things and things to improve and all those kind of things, but never really say why they're still doing it. I'm still a software engineer, full on, 100%. And the reason why this is still worth it, right? The job itself comes with very serious benefits. To start with, I think this is one underrated one. It's global opportunity. I mean, you're not only just limited to working in your current country. In my case, it's just South Africa. I'm not just limited to only work in South Africa. I could work for a Zimbabwean country or a Botswana country or a Burkina Faso country or Europe country or any American country for that matter, right? And yeah, that's good. You can't just do that with other carriers because you might need to sort of relocate, go somewhere else and stuff like that. So it's easy for us because you'd sort of be working while you're still within the country of your bed. And the other one is you get freedom and flexibility after you prove yourself. And when I'm talking about freedom and flexibility after you prove yourself, it's not necessarily to say you don't get to work, right? But at least you get to be trusted and you get some flexibility with the team, which means it's no longer just to say, you need to be in the office between 9 and 5, and there's no other way. I mean, you guys can always come with the structure that sort of works for the team. If you have external clients, you come with that and accommodate that and all those kind of things. But if you haven't proved your worth, your skill, and there's still some doubts and all that, probably it will be super difficult for you. I mean, there's a very nice approach I've seen in some great global companies wherein they would say, we don't care what time you sort of work, for as long as you make sure that you join all your meetings and you're available when needed. And if not available, you say, and you let the team know, and still make sure you 100% work in your time. That's too much flexibility, which I think if taken to an extreme, then yeah, you would hear things like, I only just work 2 hours a day and I go to the beach. It's nice in the meantime, but it's a bomb over time because you're still, if you're just working 2 hours in a day, what experience are you gaining? What are you going to be like in the next 2 years or 3 years? If you are a junior in the previous 2 years, do you think you would have reached a position of a senior in the next 3 to 5 years if you're just working 2 hours a day? No. So for every action, there's probably some very nice reaction. The other reason why this is still thrilling, right, is you get to solve something that seemed impossible or that many people deemed impossible. Think about the guy who came and developed Uber, right? Somebody would probably have said, well, it's crazy. Why would I do an app? You get into strangers' car and then they take you wherever destination you want to go, and then you pay them. I mean, it's probably some pushbacks like that, right? But then the guys or the engineers who work behind that made sure that it was safe and reliable to the consumer. And they did that all with code and working more than 4 hours your influencers to always talk about. So it's always nice. I mean, it's always nice. And yeah, I sort of really, really, really cherish those. But all that, it sort of end, like I said. I mean, there's no shortcuts. You have to really put in the time. You have to really work that every time. If you're only here or if you're only here for software engineering just for the money, you won't last. I don't think you will last at all. What I mean by that is either you end up playing catch up or you are a person with big titles but no experience, which is very dangerous, right? If you are a person with very big experience and paid so well, but you don't have any value that you're bringing on the table, then you're easily disposable. In the era wherein people in the tech space are getting laid off every day, then why would I keep you if I'm paying you 100K and you're not delivering what 100K could give me? You get what I'm saying? That's just how maybe the danger would sort of lie, right? In closing, I would like to say that if next time somebody asks you, just learn to code and get rich. Remember that this is a marathon. It's not a hackathon. We're not just coding overnight and then things get put to be together, and that's it. I mean, my own experience is the first 2, if not 3 years of my working, I used to mostly sleep like 6 hours only. I'll wake up 6 in the morning and I'll sleep somewhere around 2-ish, 1-ish. It's not healthy, but I just want to show you how much is sort of required to kickstart and get off. So yeah, just so that you can really understand why I sort of made this video. And I mean, if you want to see more of these videos, and if you really want to see the real life of a developer and what sort of entails, do let me know. And let me know if there's one thing that you've always wondered or wanted to learn about software engineers in general or tech bros life in general. And I'll definitely create a video for you. Otherwise, hang tight, subscribe, like, tell your friends to tell their friends. And thank you very much. Bye.